Hey, welcome to Viking Preparedness. I am Pastor Joe Fox. I have a certain foreboding in my spirit, and at the same time, I'm in a really good mood. Go figure. Um, the foreboding, I think, a disturbance in the force, right? I feel something in my spirit is not right. Something wicked this way comes. I've been talking about that. And of course, this is a pretty big week coming up. It's been a big week. I watched a video by a guy I hardly ever watch. And I only watched part of the video. By a guy named J.D. Farang, I think. He's a pastor in Hawaii. He was talking about prophecy this week, and he really didn't say anything. I mean, really, he didn't. Um, but it just kind of was, pile it on, pile it on. And, he pointed out the Israeli strike against the Iranian positions that just happened. Um, the fact that we're opening our embassy on Monday. It's the 70th year anniversary of Israel. Iran's been humiliated twice now. Once with the showing of all the intel that Bibi was showing on his PowerPoint presentation. And then they just, Iranian forces, Iran, attacked Israeli positions in the Golan Heights the other day. They fired like 20 rockets or something at the Israelis, and the Israelis, none of which hit. And then the Israelis went into Syria and just schwacked the Iranian positions. It's like swinging a haymaker at a MMA fighter in a bar, and you miss, and then he pounds you. you know, that ain't over, right? Not by a long stretch. Embassy being dedicated Monday. This Trump thing with all the lawyers and stuff is all bubbling. Where's that going? A lot of tension. Did y'all ever follow those, what were they called? Were they web bots? Bots? Cliff High? Something like that? And it would supposedly, I don't know if it's true or not, supposedly he had this like algorithm or something that was on the internet and it would just pick up words that people were using, and then it would show tension in the world or something like that. They were mildly interesting, and I played with that for a while. I wonder what they're doing right now. When I get pensive, is that the word? Um, when I get feeling like I'm feeling now, I'm a guy of action. I take action. I don't sit there and suck my thumb and stay on the internet and feed the paranoid delusions or whatever. I get busy, and to that end, y'all know I bought 200 pounds, 100 pounds each of rice and beans recently, and I packaged all that up the other day, and I took videos of it along the way. So I need to edit them so I can piece them all together, showing how I did it with Mylar bags and oxygen absorbers. And I used some older, which I'm kind of getting ahead of the video, but that's okay. I used some older oxygen absorbers, and only half the bags really sealed well. I mean, like sucked down from the oxygen absorbers. And so I'm going to have to go back in and put new oxygen absorbers in 3 of the bags. So I want to film that too, and put that all together. But my point is, I put up another 100 pounds of food, which is, 200 pounds, 100 pounds each, rice and beans. It's about 6 months for one person. I remember when I started prepping, sort of. I mean, heck, I've been a prepper my whole life, literally since I was a child. I remember like 7th or 8th grade building a cache with candy bars and money and stuff with a friend of mine in case something happened and we had to go survive the apocalypse. Man, that was back in the 1970s. I was in seventh grade, you know. But I remember, let's just go back to early adulthood, you know, newlyweds, my wife and I. Um, Second lieutenant in the Army, not a whole lot of money. I mean, on the one hand, it felt like I had a lot of money because I beat the heck out of being a lifeguard, which I'd been for like 6 or 7 years, as far as money goes. But really, at the end of the month, we didn't have that much money. I know some people are saying cry me a river. I get it. It's all relative. But I mean, we couldn't afford to buy stuff as a second lieutenant. I remember when I got promoted to first lieutenant and got another raise because I'd been in the Army for 2 years or something like that. I don't know. But within a very short period of time, we're digressing here a little bit, but I was making X amount of money. I can't remember. But I was making X amount of money, and then I got promoted to first lieutenant, and I went over a step increase because of my time in service, and my wife got a job. And our pay in our house doubled, like the money coming in. And I don't care if you make $7 an hour or if you make $700,000 a year. When your pay doubles, your pay doubles. And yeah, then we could start buying pizza and stuff because we couldn't even afford to buy pizza. But I remember when we tried to prep, and it was really hard because, you know, by the time you paid for your groceries and stuff, there wasn't really a whole lot of money left over. And we didn't go into debt. We weren't debt people. And so we would put a little bit here away, you know, and I'm talking like 3 cans. You know, we bought like a can of corn, a can of beans, and a can of tomato sauce. So we put it in our stash, and then, you know, we started building up like that. And then I started reading books and articles and magazines, and then fast forward to the internet came out. And by the time the internet came out, I was doing pretty well, and we were pretty hardcore preppers at that point. But I remember reading these old geezers, right, who would talk about how they were preparing for their grandchildren and great grandchildren. And I remember not thinking that was weird, but I just had no sense. I couldn't really connect with that. I mean, you know, my kids were little at the time. And I was preparing for my kids, but preparing for their kids, come on, you know. I think that way now. It's amazing what having grandkids does. Um, I think that way. I think, all right, what do I need to do for my grandkids and my as yet unborn grandkids? And the cool thing is, you know, no, let's say nothing happens and, you know, I kick off, you know, one of these years. And then, you know, there's grandpa with, you know, all the survival supplies and stuff. And then let's just say the kids hate it, you know, and they're like, what is this? And so they just sell it at a yard sale for nothing. My kids are all preppers, so they'll actually appreciate it. You know, if I leave it behind as a legacy, which I don't feel like is going to happen, I feel like we're going to go through this thing together. So there's that. Back to the foreboding. Um, I've said it before, though, right? I mean, I have. I've gone through these cycles, and I realize that it's like, it feels heavy. That's a good phrase. It feels heavy out there. And I don't take my videos down. I don't predict dates. I never do. It's gonna happen on Tuesday, man. You better get ready. I don't do that. I just tell you what I'm feeling, and I'm being honest about it. And the other thing is, I'm honest about it, and I leave my other videos up. I mean, I've got a video way back there, 2000, probably 12, probably late summer of 12. Because I remember I was sitting in my camper that I had not yet moved from Kansas down here that we ended up living in for a couple years. I was still fixing it up, and I had a job that required me to shave, so I've got like no beard. And I'm telling people, you better get ready. It's coming. And then I did a video that was well received here a couple years ago. where I said the prepping season is ending. Want to get metaphysical a little bit? Yeah, man, you guys aren't like that. YouTube is though. You said that 2 years ago, and then you said that like 5 years ago, man, and nothing happened. Go eat some more Doritos. Whatever. I mean, people just say the stupidest things. Metaphysical. What's time? We look at time as that's the past, this is the present, and there's the future out there, linear. I have had experiences in my life where I realized that time is not linear for God. I have prayed for things on at least two occasions that come immediately to mind where God reversed time. Something had happened. I prayed about it and then it didn't happen. That is not the power of my prayer that I'm talking about. That's the power of Yah. Um, and the way I look at that, my visual person, we look at time like I said, that's the past, this is the present, and that's the future out there. I think the Father's up above looking down on it, and he can see the past, present, and future all at once. It's all there, and to him, it's just like boop, 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 boop. It's simple. So maybe my 2 years ago warning, my 5 years ago warning, and my heaviness now, maybe it's all relative. Maybe. Maybe some people needed to hear it 5 years ago, and some people needed to hear it 2 years ago, and some people need to hear it now, and it's just a timing thing for them. I don't know. I'm not in charge here, and I'm not trying to, not selling anything, right? Not really. Buy my book. I think most of you probably have it. Um, I'm just telling you like it is, and like I feel it, and I feel heavy. I feel heavy. But I'm optimistic. Doot, doot. No, you're bipolar, PJ. But I am optimistic because I've done everything I can do. I mean, pretty much. It's like I have expended the resources I have. I don't have a big screen TV. We didn't go to Cabo San Lucas for a vacation. I mean, I've put it all in, and I'm enjoying the life I have. It's not like I'm living in a bunker, 100 feet underground eating MREs because it's coming, man. I mean, I'm having a good time. I've grown blackberries, raising baby goats. It's good. Um, and so I'm happy in that way. I like my lifestyle. I like how it goes. And I think I tell people this. I'm going to get a little bit eschatological. Es, eschatology. So eschatological. Escha. My eschatology is about to come forth. How about that? Um, I think I tell people this here. I think we're on the cusp of the end times. I think it's certainly possible. We could be seeing some fascinating things fixing to happen. And so for that, I'm kind of excited. It's like, yeah, I bought the ticket. I want to go on the whole ride, man. I want to see this thing through to the end. I want to see my Savior coming down in the clouds, when he does. I want to see that happen. I think that'll be cool. So there's that. But yeah, low power mode, close. I guess I better get out of here. Um, Man, if you got any last minute things to do, I suggest you do them without panicking. Do I look panicked? Do I sound panicked? Is my voice up 3 octaves? I'm not. Steady steps, forward progress, but be aware this thing could be fixing to happen. Um, yeah. All right. I'll stay frosty. I'll see you out there.